Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Hello, I'm Hope. I'm from the Arts Center here in Monroe. Who has been there? Yay, yay, yay. I've been there since 2017. I became the director there. So it's kind of become my life. I've kind of dug in there and we've made some changes. If you haven't visited in the last year or so, please come on in. Things are always changing with new gallery shows and new items in our gift shop. So come see us. We've always got something fun going on. What has been handed out to y'all is our 2021 Impact Report, and kind of highlights our successes, some challenges, some things we overcame, some good news that we had in 2021, charts and pie graphs and numbers, things that I'm not good at. So take a look at that. And also you got our class list that's continually updated. We're always having different classes and events at the Arts Center. So I update that list at least once a week because we're always adding in new classes. We're kind of excited. We have a new oil painting class coming. And I believe we have a new acrylics paint class coming. Surprisingly, probably the hardest part of my job is finding teachers. Retired art teachers come in and I jump up and down and I get all excited and say, wouldn't you love to come here and teach? And they say, no. They're kind of over that. So it's tough finding artists who like to teach. But we do have a new acrylics coming, I hope and pray, and she's really, really good. And then, and her style is more abstract. I really love her paintings. And then our oil painting instructor is a young woman who's a very realistic painter, so beautiful. She's very, very talented. So just come in. You can always pick up a class list when you're there. We have an email list that you can sign up for that's free. We have emails that we send out anywhere from 2 to 4 times a month so that you can stay up to date on the things that are continually kind of changing there. We're going to move into the healing arts portion, but just my 30-second spiel about the Art Center in general is that we have 3 main focuses. We have the gallery. We have 8 or 9 shows every year. We have the school shows at the beginning of the year and the member show, and then we have some various shows throughout the rest of the year. Coming up, we have our regional show that's coming. That's kind of our more fine arts, juried kind of show. And then in November and December, it actually opens October 29th. We'll have our Christmas gift show. So everything is locally made. We have around 70 artists and makers in our shop. So nothing is made in China. It's all made here, either right here in Walton County or just right surrounding this area by our members. And then we have our classes and events. Summer is kind of a lull time because some of our teachers take a break. But typically through the rest of the year, we have at least 60 classes and events every single month. So, and always trying new things. So, Kathy wanted me to talk to y'all about our Healing Arts program. This is one of our classes. we love our building. It's a fabulous building downtown, historic building. It's not so great if you're a handicapped person. So we've actually moved our healing arts classes, most of them, to the Bridge of Georgia. And y'all probably know Tammy, Burt, and if you don't, y'all need to have them come talk to y'all. But that's a special needs school here in Monroe. They're at the old Lane Street Elementary School. And so they have this fabulous art room that has lots of room, has accessible bathrooms. We don't have wheelchair accessible bathrooms in our place. The ramp coming up into our building is a little bit scary. So anyway, we have moved those classes over to the bridge, and that's one of the classes that we held. So our healing arts is kind of an umbrella, and under that umbrella are three main areas of focus. We have the Art MD healing art kits. We have our special needs classes, and then we have the art as therapy, and that's an area that we really want to develop more. Let's see how I'm doing on time. That's an area that we really want to develop more, and that's another thing that's been kind of a frustrating thing. I'll just tell you all the things that are frustrating about my job. Is finding art therapists. They're really hard to find. So, and they're really, once I find one, they kind of slip away and they move to Wyoming or someplace. So our latest one is in Thailand. So we're hoping to even develop more of that, but we do have at least kind of some foundational things going in that area. Our Art MD healing art kits. This is kind of our signature project, and this is maybe the one thing that I can really kind of say was my idea. My granddaughter is in my custody, and she's special needs, and so she had spent a lot of time at CHOA and Eggleston and Scottish Rite, mostly Eggleston. And of course they have a very active child life department where they have fairies that are pushing bookmobiles through the hallways and doctors that are playing ukuleles and, you know, just tons of programming for kids. So we were looking for a volunteer project in a Girl Scout troop, and I called, it was Clearview then, I called Clearview and I said, we'd like to donate some coloring books or videos or whatever we can find to your child life department. And they said, our what? They didn't have anything like that. Of course, they don't have a PEDS ward, but they do see a lot of kids through their emergency room, and then kids are there waiting while their aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents are there having procedures. But they didn't have anything, and I said, well, call me back, we'll figure something out. They never called back. So that was years ago, and then in, I think, 2018, I gotten my feet far enough into the art center to know some great artists, and so we developed these kits, and we just kind of on our own, of course I talked to the hospital and they said yeah, they'd take them. So we started out with a kids kit because that's what I knew that was needed, and it has little stuffed animals. Sometimes they're Beanie Babies, sometimes that are donated to us, sometimes they're new. Has Play-Doh, crayons. We like the good stuff, and they're on sale right now, by the way, for usually around 50 cents around this going back to school time. Stickers, a pencil, and I love this. It's probably my favorite thing. We have artists who paint little angel paintings, and they go in there. We have original angel paintings that go into each one. Sometimes they'll write a little Bible verse or word of encouragement. And then we have our art journal, and this is for kids, I'd say anywhere from preschoolers up to 10 or 12 years old, and it's all original art by our artists, and it's just lovely. There are coloring sheets, and then there are journaling sheets too, and just kind of all kinds of things for them to do. So these were super popular, and then these are funded through grants and donations. We do have people that bring us in Beanie Babies, and those are great when you're cleaning out your attic if you have 200 Beanie Babies like we had. Those are great. And then, like I said, this time of year, going back to school, the 24 packs of Crayola crayons are usually 50 cents at Target and Walmart and Publix and places like that. So we have people that will bring us in sacks of crayons this time of year especially. And then we also have grants. We got a nice grant from Walton EMC Roundup. So this is funded through that, so everything is free. Everything is given away for free. There's also we've taken them to the jail for families that are waiting there to see their dad. We've DFACs, Team Up Mentoring, A Child's Voice, doctor's offices, all of those. So they're 100% free, 100% volunteer-led. I have 2 volunteers, and this is just yesterday, as a matter of fact. I have 2 volunteers that kind of head up this program, and they really have taken the entire thing off my plate, which is so great. They schedule build days, we call them, where they come in and put the kits together, and then they're also actively pursuing doctor's offices and places where we can place these. But we do have people that just come into the center and pick them up. I mean, I have a few at my house that when there's a death in the family or something in the neighborhood going on, where we have a hospitality group, where our little hospitality group will deliver these kits to people. So it's not just a big formal thing, it's only at the hospital. So if y'all can think of a need for these at any place that you're involved in, any agency that serves adults or teens or kids, because during COVID, we were really seeing an uptick, I guess, in mental health issues and people dealing with loneliness and despair and depression, being isolated a lot, and so we thought we need a teens and adult kit as well. So we developed a new kit, and this launched in February of this year. It's got a much more involved art journal, lots more pages. I think about, 20 or 40 pages at the end are blank, but all throughout it's got different games and word searches and gratitude journal type things, little art instructive kinds of things, all kinds of things in here to keep people occupied. Our thought for these and where they are being used is in places like dialysis centers, the hospital, of course, doctor's offices. Another kind of neat thing is that the EMTs and the police officers here in Monroe have these in their cars, the kids kit in particular, to give to kids, just right there when there's a traumatic event happening. They can give them something that's really very helpful. So the adult kit has the journal, it has a pencil sharpener, colored pencils, and a Sharpie. And we've given away around 2,500 at least kits. Probably actually more than that. Now that I have 2 volunteers that are keeping up with these numbers better than I was, I think we'll have a better idea. But these are the kits that they just put together yesterday, that group of ladies in that previous slide. So why do we do this? The boxes really are, I mean, there have been studies on especially veterans with PTSD, that the sooner you can get art into the hands of somebody, the sooner healing starts to begin. It occupies the brain. That, you know, I don't know about y'all, but if my brain is left on its own, it's going to run off and start thinking about some dark things sometimes. So it keeps your brain occupied on something positive. Like I said, we have a lot of prompts in the books as well, you know, things that you're grateful for, things that you're thankful for. So it really is helpful to get things into people's hands just right away. If nothing else, it's a comforting distraction to kids that are waiting for, you know, for their mom or dad to go through some kind of procedure at the hospital. 40 studies have shown that doing 45 minutes of art, just pencil in hand, any kind of art, anything, reduces cortisol, and that is a stress hormone. So if you're feeling stressed, do some art. So the other area that our Healing Arts umbrella reaches is into our special needs classes, and we have several groups that we serve. We have exceptional community services here in Monroe and also in Conyers, 2 separate groups. Walnut Grove's special needs students, the Connections group at the Bridge of Georgia. And like I said, this is an area that we want to expand even more into, but just last year we did 170 sessions. With this, with special needs adults that are developmentally delayed, sometimes they can get kind of agitated, and especially in a group setting. So doing art really is a very positive thing. It reduces stress, it raises feelings of competence, helps with mood and compliance, and you know, I hate to say compliance, it's the best word I could think of. It just kind of redirects them into something positive, and it raises their self-esteem. You should see, I mean, you can see their faces there, but if you were there in person, you'd be amazed at how proud they are of their paintings and the things that they create. And it's really, truly an amazing thing. Our teacher that does that's her daughter down there at the bottom, that's Grace. But the teacher that leads these classes is actually a retired nurse. She's a retired RN who happens to have an art degree. So she's awesome, and she's great with these guys. And then our artist therapy, like I said, we just kind of started with that, but we've done 2 series of workshops with team up mentoring, where of course they choose some at-risk youth, and then we have a therapist who's not an art therapist, she's a counselor type therapist, and then one of our art teachers that works with them, and they work in tandem to work on those kinds of things too, with self-esteem, handling emotions in appropriate ways instead of resorting to violence or resorting to, you know, verbal abuse or something. So it helps them to process those things, the things that the counselor brings up at the beginning of the session. Our art teacher kind of works those things, those issues, into the art lesson. And then this is kind of a project that they did at the end of the first sessions that we did last year. And that's each of their hands, and I think they came up with that, what they wanted to write in the middle with heart and helping hands. A child can accomplish anything. But like I said, that's something that we really want to develop even more of. For a long time, when I first came to the Art Center, I kind of felt like the Art Center was a grand old aunt sitting at the top of the hill that nobody came to see her, and she wasn't invited to the parties, and there was a big party going on in downtown Monroe, but there wasn't a whole lot of reason for people to come see us. I feel like now in the last 5 years, we've kind of turned that corner, made a transition from being something that only services the artist to being something that really is a good neighbor to our community and serves the city well with our classes, the support, the economic support. When I first started, our typical month in the shop might be a couple $100s. Like I said, there was just no reason for anybody to come there or to shop there. Now, most months, it's thousands of dollars. So, we've added a lot to the economy as well. And we're kind of proud of that we were nominated by the city as a premier partner and then recognized with the Georgia Downtown Association. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. I hope that y'all will come see us, take a class. People get nervous when I say that, but all of our classes really are pretty much geared toward beginners or just meeting you wherever you are. They're a lot of fun. We have great teachers. We have a great shop. You definitely should come do your Christmas shopping with us and support local artists that are right here in our community. And if any of y'all are interested, we have the Christmas home tour coming up in December. We're looking for sponsors for that. I've got sponsorship information. I can just give you that. You can look at it later. But I hope you'll look at the impact report and view us as the good neighbor that we're hoping to be. Y'all have any questions?
If we wanted to sign up for the parking of the boxes and that kind of stuff.
Good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Dina Huff, the Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth. And we're approaching somewhat the holiday seasons. And there's just a couple of things that I wanted to bring to your attention. Get my glasses on. First, I would like to tell you about Red Ribbon Week. It's not a holiday, but it is Red Ribbon Week, where you will see things around your child's school or the community with red everywhere, because they are celebrating Red Ribbon Week. And the theme for this year is Celebrate Life, Live Drug Free. So we normally help the schools and we present in the schools about being drug free. So that week that we're going to celebrate that is October 23rd through the 31st. So just to keep you aware of that. Also, just to bring to your attention and maybe put some dates on your calendar, Empty Stocking Fund of Walton County Distribution Day will be December 10th, 2022 at Journey Church. We're going to go back to Journey Church this year. We are very grateful for that church just opening their doors and allowing us to assemble the boxes and then make that a distribution place. So, and for all of their church members helping sort the canned goods and stuff. So I want to bring your attention to the application dates this year. We've kind of bumped it up a week earlier, so we want to make you aware of the application dates. So Tuesday, November 1st, from 9 until 11 at Social Circle Senior Center, and that is at 138 East Hightower Trail in Social Circle. Wednesday, November 2nd, from 9 until 11, and we will also have an evening application time at Nowell. Now, in the past, it's been at Felker, but Felker is being used this year, so we're moving it to Nowell Recreation Center. Still during the same times, the evening is going to be cut short of 30 minutes, from 6 until 7:30. But the Recreation Center at Nowell is at 201 West Spring Street in Monroe. And then Thursday, November 3rd, at the 9 to 11, we will do our last application dates at the Rock Gym in Loganville, and that address is 135 Main Street, Loganville. Now, last year we had online applications that did not work too well for us, so we're going to stick to our paper applications. That seems to work well for the population that we serve. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to call me here at the office. One last thing I would like to mention is Fish needs your help. They need volunteers, and they are hosting a volunteer drive on Saturday, September 24th. And if you are interested in that, you will need to RSVP to 404-557-8860, or you can email volunteers@fishofwalton.org, or their website is www.fishofwalton.org. And on that Saturday, September 24th, during the couple of hours that you'll be there, they'll take you on a tour. They'll tell you what is expected of volunteers. And if you've never had an opportunity to volunteer at Fish, I suggest that if you're looking for something to do over the holiday season, that you take that opportunity and even take your family with you. You will be rewarded for doing that. It's a great experience to give back to your community. So if you have any questions about anything that I've shared this morning, please feel free to call me on my direct line at 770-207-3175. And as always, it's a pleasure, and thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson. I'm here with another recreation report. I do want to announce that we are having our basketball registration that's going on now, September 12th through the 17th. Hopefully you get this information, and we'll have it online at waltoncountyga.gov. You can go in and register there, and we'll have registration from the 12th through the 17th, and then we'll add participants as we have space available. So make sure you get in. We average about 1,000 kids, and we'll play here at the New South Walton Community Center, at Nowell Recreation, and at Felker, and then we'll also play games up at West Walton Community Center at Meridian. So looking forward to getting you signed up for basketball. Our fall sports is we're about halfway through the season. We'll end just before fall break around October 6th. Will be our final week of our fall season. Our football will go a little further since we're playing in the North Georgia Youth Football League. They'll go up until the end of October with some playoffs and things like that. So our fall season's going great. A lot of kids participating. It's traditionally our biggest season, and I'm glad the weather is kind of helping us out. It's not raining quite every day. Hopefully it will continue like that, and the weather and the heat has kind of subsided a little bit. So it's a great time to be outside and about. But always, if you want to go inside, we have our 3 community centers now that if you join one, you're a member of all 3. You can come and work out in a climate-controlled area. We try to keep it in the 70s, low 70s each day, so you can get a good workout, walk the walking track, and then maybe go outside. There's usually a walking track that's adjacent to our community centers, whether you're at Felker, at South Walton, which is under construction right now, or down at Meridian where you can walk around the lake. So get out and visit our parks. They're there for you, and we want you to be able to use it. I do have a guest today. His name's Charles Jackson, and Charles is not new to the Recreation Department. He's been with us a while and has worked in all of our departments, actually. So he's a guy with many hats and has learned them all, but he's taken a new role with us here at the Recreation Department. It's our leisure activities. So he's been running our splash park, which we'll talk about a little bit with the splash park and the success we've had in the first and the second year with the splash park, and then maybe some of the new special activities that we'll have going on here at the Recreation Department. So Charles, great to have you, and good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And talk about the splash park a little bit and the success we had this year.
Well, the numbers have been just as good as they were the first year. We had a lot of kids, we had daycares, and really the ages varied from the young ones all the way up to kind of the young teens. So we had great attendance, and the weather was fortunately good for us all season. If you want to do any kind of rentals, after-hour rentals going forward into the next season, you can contact us at the rec department. Or me personally at charles.jackson@co.walton.ga.us.
Yeah, so about how many participants I know we were open and we had a great June, and then July and August it seemed like it rained every day.
Yeah.
But what were the numbers about? What did we have?
We have about 200 to 300 a day, obviously weather permitting. If it's a good day, we'd see about 300 a day.
And my understanding that we had a pretty good showing of rentals last season, but how were rentals? What typically happened with the rentals this year?
We had a lot more rentals this year for after hours. I think the demand just increased. People realized it was a good resource, and it's one of the only places in the county you can get an after-hour rental outside of the typical operating hours.
And obviously we've closed the center for this year. We'll open it back up around May, Memorial Day, somewhere in there, just depending on how the weather's going next year. But typically we open up as soon as school lets out. We'll go to regular hours. Show us, what are the hours that we are open with the splash park?
So generally during summer hours we're 10 to 6, and then off-season hours it's 4 to 6.
And then we're closed on Mondays, usually just so we can get the pool chemicals back to where they need to be.
Absolutely.
We do have a lot of people that are on the splash pad. So the after-hour rentals are from 6:30 to 8:30.
Yes.
6:30 to 8:30, and the cost is around. What is the cost for a rental?
I believe it's $250.
Okay. So we had a lot of birthday parties this year. That typically, what days did the rentals take place?
Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are obviously our busiest days for those, and it's pretty much booked up. This year, it was booked up every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, weather permitting.
Wow. And that's great. And just so everybody knows that we've had such a success with the Ayers Park Splash Park that we have put in our master plan for Phase 1 for the Walnut Grove Park to have a even larger splash park. So we're looking to increase the age that it's not the age limit of people that can attend, but more of the age limit of some of the activities that they may want to enjoy. So maybe some elevation, maybe a drop down slide. None of that's been determined yet, but that's what we're pushing for, is to get, instead of the 8 or 9 year old, 10-year-old range, to try to go all the way up to the low teens that would enjoy going to the splash park. So we look forward to that. Obviously it's going to take another 6 months or so to design all the phases in the park, including the skate park, the amphitheater, which is going to be massive, which is really where Charles is going to come in with that amphitheater with festivals and concerts and all the things that we hope to have at a 5-acre amphitheater, with the skate park, the youth softball fields, and then a community center without the gym in Phase 1. So it's a massive park that we're going to be building, and we'll show you the plans of that in a future show. But we really look forward to getting a second splash park and bringing that to Walton County, because the first one it just about maxes out on the good weather days. So we will have nearly 150 to 200 people in there at one time, and it's really hard to enjoy the splash park when it's that many people. So we see the need, and the commissioners have agreed to try to find the funding for that. We have some SPLOST funds that are available from this previous SPLOST that we're putting towards that in the design phase, and then once we start bidding it out, we'll look for additional funding so we can go along with at least the entire first phase of the project, which is somewhere between the $30 and $40 million mark. So it's a huge project for Walton County. So with that being said, we hope that you will get signed up for basketball. Again, thanks Charles for coming on and talking about the Splash Park. We will come to you with other special events like the fishing derby that we already have. We're hoping to get a road race sometime planned. We're going to try to get a pickleball league started. So all of these things, also our esports for kids that like to play video games in a group setting. So all of those are special events that we're looking forward to getting in the future here at the Parks and Recreation Department. So until next time, we also want to remind you that sportsmanship starts at home. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in today. As always, we're going to show you some of the dogs that are available for adoption here at your local animal shelter in Monroe, Georgia. It's Walton County Animal Control. We've got a lot of great dogs right now. You can see them all on waltonpets.net. They're vaccinated, dewormed, heartworm tested. A lot of them get along with other dogs, so even if you've got dogs in your home, you can always find one to add to your house. We've got a lot of cats too. Can't bring them outside to show you because they might run off, but they're also there on waltonpets.net with photographs. We do 2-for-1 adoptions on the cats, so keep that in mind if you're wanting 2 cats to go together. We're still kind of in the tail end of kitten season, so yes, there's even small kittens available for adoption. So if you're looking to add a pet to your home, don't forget waltonpets.net or come down to your local Walton County Animal Control shelter.
Here we have Philly. He's about a 3-year-old male Shar-Pei mix. He is not neutered. He seems to like other animals. Not positively sure on how he does with others at this moment, but he has not been growling or anything at any of them.
This is Hendrix. He has been with us since August 26th. He's only a puppy, about 9 or 10 months old. He is super hyper, so he would need a very active home and some training, and he would be a great pup.
Here we have just a mixed breed. Her name is Skipper. She's about 10 months old. She is already spayed and she is microchipped, and she seems to be very submissive towards other animals.
This is Ty, a little skittish at first. He's a year-old male, not spayed. Pan has been vaccinated and is friendly with other dogs.
He is about a year-old male. He would do better in a home with one dog, with just him, no other pets. But he is very well trained. He sits, he shakes, and he's housebroken, and he's available for adoption.
Male, not neutered, year-old.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful, the Walton County Recycling Center, and we thought it might be a good idea to kind of do a walkthrough, show everybody our recycling drive-through and our operation here in case it might be your first time coming out to the center. As you can see back behind me, we have 2 entrances into the recycling center. And one entrance leads onto the scales. If you have anything that's not recyclable that you want to throw away, some of the larger items like furniture or mattresses or any of that stuff, you'll want to make sure you come through the entrance to the scale house on the scales. They'll weigh you in on the scales. They'll send you around back behind the building where you'll unload on our concrete pad, and you'll circle back around the building and on the scale to get an empty weight. You'll pay right here at the scale house. Just remember our charges here are $45 a ton or $2.25 per 100 pounds. We do accept cash or check only. We don't have a debit card machine. So that is the entrance for trash. Make sure you come across the scales. If you're just coming in to recycle, you can bypass the scale and just come right through our main gates right here into what is our recycling drive-through. And we'll walk through and show you everything we recycle here, and just kind of give you an idea of where things are at the recycling center. And again, feel free to call us anytime with any questions about this stuff. Let us help you get started recycling. But we did think it'd be a good idea to kind of show you the recycling center itself, the setup here, so if it was your first time coming in, you'd know exactly where to go. So we'll walk along now and show you our recycling drive-through. When coming into the recycling center, just through the main gates, the first stop would be if you have any auto, marine, or lawnmower batteries. We have a pallet set up just inside the main gates, right beside the recycling drive-through, where you can put your batteries. We stack them up here. When we get the pallet completely full, we do take those to someone that buys the batteries from us. As you can see, right beside the batteries, we have an oil drum. You can bring used motor oil, transmission fluid, any of your gear oils, all can go in there. If you do have oil that's mixed with water, it does not need to go in there. It gets contaminated, and the company that comes to get our oil will not accept that from us. At that point, it's basically just a hazardous chemical. It would need to be completely dried out, bagged, and thrown away, or you can always call a hazardous waste company to handle any contaminated oils or anything like that. Paint, gasoline, diesel fuel, any of that stuff cannot go into our oil drum. So remember, that's just used motor oil, transmission fluid, and gear oils that would go in there. And now we'll turn into the recycling drive-through and show you what we have here. The first stop when you pull into our recycling drive-through, right on your right will be these Gaylord boxes set up, and this is for all computer recycling that we have. Pretty much any part of the computer is acceptable here, unless you have the old school CRT monitors. Those have to be thrown away, but as long as it's a flat screen monitor, it can go in there. The keyboard, the modems, the printers, the speakers, the mouse, everything else can go in there. We have a big problem with TVs making their way into this. Just remember, TVs cannot be recycled. They have to be thrown away. And if TVs get mixed in with our computer recycling here, we're actually charged from the company that comes to pick these up for TVs and old CRT monitors that get in there. So when you pull through, if you have computer parts, right here is where you're going to want to put any of those computer parts into these boxes, and you'll be good to go there. The next stop, and right beside our computer recycling, you'll see a glass container here. It's clearly labeled clear, brown, green. Do please try to keep those separated as you come in. We're paid a different price for each color. Some are more valuable than the others, but as you can see, it's clearly labeled where the glass recycling goes. We're pretty proud of our glass recycling program. Not a lot of places are still recycling glass because there's a lot of issues with single stream recycling and glass. We've managed to keep our glass recycling program going, and we kept upwards of 125 tons out of the landfill last year by keeping our glass recycling. We have a can here, and we also have a glass can at every one of our drop-off sites throughout the county. Backing up a little bit, the oil that you've already seen, the batteries, and the computer recycling parts, those are things that can only be recycled here. The convenience sites does not have the computer recycling, the oil, and the battery recycling. So if you want to recycle those items, you will have to come here. But pretty much everything we'll see from here on out, all 7 of our drop-off locations has the glass can, and pretty much everything you'll see from here on out. And we can take a peek inside just to give you an idea of what is being recycled in our glass recycling. What we stay away from are things like window panes, and it's basically just glass bottles and jars. Across the recycling drive-through from the glass container, we have a can here that's labeled tin cans, any of your old soup cans or whatnot. can be put into this bin. And right here beside it on the table, we actually do cell phone recycling. There's just a little basket there that we constantly keep empty with any old cell phones that get dropped off. So those are right there about halfway into the recycling drive-through. You can drop your stuff off there. And almost directly across from the tin cans and the cell phone recycling, we have a can sitting right here that we collect cardboard in. So if you're pulling through and you don't have a real large load of cardboard, it can be put in this container right here. Back behind me, you can probably see the truck. It is actually backed up to a small self-dumping can. If you have office paper, shredded paper, any of those items, they can be walked back to that self-dumping can and dumped into that can for your paper recycling needs. And across from the cardboard recycling, we had a local Eagle Scout that was looking for an Eagle Scout project, and he actually made us a flag collection box, and those scouts come through about 3 times a year. They empty out our box and they have a ceremony to discard the flags in the proper way. We're pretty happy with this box. It stays much fuller than you might think it would. We have more people wanting to know what to do with old tattered flags than you might realize. So we were pretty happy to help him out with that. And if you know anybody that has any old flags and don't know what to do with them, tell them about us. It's a great place to drop those off and to be sure they're taken care of properly. Right beside the flag can, we have 2 newspaper and magazine cans. You can put all of your newspapers and magazines in those 2 cans. We do need 2 cans because we get so much of those. But newspaper, 2 cans right here that are clearly labeled for you to drop off your newspaper and magazine recycling. And just down past the newspaper bins is our aluminum can bin, and that's pretty much just like it says. It's strictly for aluminum cans, so it's going to be your soft drink cans and beer cans and things like that. Goes in the aluminum cans. Right beside that, you'll see the can labeled plastic, and it is for number 1 and number 2 plastics only, but that's going to cover soft drink bottles, water bottles, milk jugs, laundry detergent bottles. You've probably seen me do this before. If you are unsure if you have number 1 or number 2 plastic, you can always look on the underside of whatever container you have. You'll see the triangular recycling symbol, and there's generally a number right inside that symbol that tells exactly what grade of plastic it is. And like I said, those items that I mentioned, pretty much all of those will be covered under the number 1 and number 2 plastic category. So again, this is a can that we have to empty several times a week, and we get a lot of plastic, but this is where you would dump those items. And one of the last containers we have as you're leaving the recycling drive-through is our cooking oil container. That's where you can bring any of your old cooking oil that you don't know what to do with. We're pretty happy with this. We have a local company that comes and collects all of our cooking oil. They actually make biodiesel out of the cooking oil. So we're pretty excited to be in partnership with a local company in collecting our cooking oil. And we probably empty this container every couple months, but you can see the size of it. That's quite a bit of cooking oil we get every couple of months. So we're pretty happy to be doing that and finding alternative ways to use fuel. Like I said, we're pretty proud of this. If you've got any old cooking oil at the house that you haven't known what to do with in the past, know that you can bring it here. And after you come out from the recycling drive-through and get outside the building, on your right-hand side will be a trash compactor, and You can probably even see the sign that says for green bags or paid trash only. If you have the county green bags that you can purchase them here. They're in most of the local convenience stores and grocery stores in the county. If you have those bags, they are prepaid for. They can be dropped in this compactor anytime. You don't have to come across the scale. You just pull through, drop your green bags here. If you just have a couple of kitchen trash bags, you don't really need to go out onto the pad out back to dump larger items. You can pull up on the scale and you'll get charged the minimum charge for a couple of bags of trash like that. And once it's been paid for, those can also be dropped off here. But it does need to be paid for trash or green bags only. You can't just pull through and drop stuff off here. And as you can see right beside it, pulling out, we do have a bin for any old clothes, shoes. That covers shower curtains, towels, rags, that type thing. Any of those old things you have, rather than throwing them away, they can be brought here and put in this box. You've probably seen several boxes like this throughout the county, but we wanted to make sure we had one here as well. If you look back behind, just one thing to add, if you look back behind the compactor, you would need to come across the scale, but I did want to remind everyone that we do accept car and truck tires here. Regular car and truck tires are $2 a piece. You would come across the scale, circle around the building, pull up to the can and just unload your tires beside the can. Again, regular car and truck tires are $2 a piece. They can't be on the rims, the wheels, the tires can't be on the rims. The larger truck tires, when you get on up to, like big truck tires, those go up to $6 a piece. We do have a limit on how many can be brought at a time, at 10. So we just get way too many tires, and we don't really have the space to let just one citizen come in and dump off 40 or 50 tires and completely fill our can up, and then we have to tell other people they're going to have to wait until we can make some room for more tires. So we did put a limit on the tires, so everyone has an opportunity to get the few tires they have around the house brought down here and disposed of properly. Just wanted to remind everyone that has questions about tires, they can always be brought here. And that pretty much concludes what the recycling options here at the recycling center. We thought it was a good idea to show you the scale. A lot of people pull up on the scale and get caught waiting in line to come recycle. So we wanted to make sure that the citizens knew that if you have recycling only, you don't have to get in line to get on the scale. You can come right through our recycling drive-through. And as you can see, the bales of cardboard behind me, we just want people to know that all of our drop-off locations, everything we collect here, we process it, send it out, and sell all of our materials. We try to constantly market our materials and get the best prices possible for what we are shipping out. And we're pretty happy with how much cardboard, plastics, and pretty much everything that we can recycle. We're pretty happy with how much of it we're getting out of here and how we're being compensated for it. So just remember, our hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:45 is when we take the last load across the scale to give people some time to unload when they get out back. So we do start locking the gates at 3:45 on Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, we're open from 7:30 to 3, and we're closed on Sundays. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions that maybe I didn't cover, feel free to call us anytime, 770-267-1421. We'd be happy to answer any questions, get you started recycling, talk about some new things that could be recycled. Again, we're here to answer any questions you have. So until next time, take care, and thanks for tuning in.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Peggy Jones, and I'm an intern with the Georgia Master Gardener Extension Volunteer Program. Today, we're going to talk to you about our upcoming free garden talks. This fall, the Master Gardeners will be giving talks at Loganville, Social Circle, and Monroe. And each week, we'll have a different topic, and we give them on Mondays at the Loganville Library at 2 p.m., Tuesdays at the Social Circle Library at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at the Felker Community Center in Monroe at 2 p.m. This way, if you can't make a day, you can always come to a different location and hear the talk there. And these are the talks that we're going to be talking about. September 19th through 21st, we're going to be talking about all the dirt on soil. So everything you need to know about soil, how to do a soil test, and even how to explain the soil test. On September 26th through the 28th, we'll be doing it on shade gardening. So if you have a shady area in your yard, this would be a great talk as we talk about what to plant and how to plant there. On October 3rd through the 5th, we're going to be talking about transplanting trees and shrubs. And you know fall is the best time to do this, so come to this talk to find out how to transplant and where. October 17th through 19th is growing green with houseplants. So as we're moving houseplants inside, how to keep them green throughout the winter season. This will be a great talk. And then our last one, October 24th through 26th, will be on making the cut, pruning basics. So how to prune your bushes for the maximum floral foliage. So I know these are a lot of dates, a lot of times. So if you visit the Walton County Master Gardener website, we'll have all the information there and all about our other upcoming events. Also, we'll always be at the farmers market on Saturday from 9 to 2. So stop by and see us there at the farmers market. And big news, we just are putting out a newsletter. So if you scan the code to sign up for our newsletter, you'll be getting an email from us with all these dates as well. And I promise you, we're not going to be sending it out daily, not even weekly, maybe once a month. So that's a great way to stay up to date with all of our events. Thanks everyone, and I hope y'all all had a great time at our pollinator census. We had a great time and it was wonderful seeing all of you there.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
To me, the most important thing about being in the human race isn't winning. It's participating. Living life to the fullest. Emphasis on living. This is what makes life, life. Yet how much of life are we willing to miss out on? Untreated hearing loss affects our mobility. It increases the risk of falls by 50%. Good hearing health is essential to staying engaged and doing what we love. Hear well and stay vital. Get a hearing health check every year.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.